Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators of this extraordinary community. It is my privilege to be here today. And I'd like to share with you a sentiment of metta, loving kindness. I make these little paintings, and on the back, I write sentiments of loving kindness. This one reads, "May your innocence be restored. May your innocence be restored." I invite you all to take a deep breath and arrive. And maybe to bring to your consciousness your morning and see if you can gently invite it to rest. Whatever happened this morning can be put down. And then maybe you can just take a peek into the window of your afternoon and evening, what's to come. And just remind yourself, I don't actually know what's to come. And so I can put that down. And so for the time we have today, we can simply and profoundly be here, breathing, reflecting, practicing. As you continue to settle in, please bring to your awareness and to your consciousness loving kindness. And allow that thought, that phrase, loving kindness. The word is metta or maitri in Sanskrit. Allow that to enter into your body as an essence, maybe even a spirit, a feeling tone, and allow your body to be held, to relax, to be at ease. The breath is one of the most anchoring activities and actions that we can use as a tool to bring calm to the body and the mind. So during the course of this reflection today, should your mind wander or should your body start to feel tense or your belly sour or whatever you notice, take a gentle inhalation, breathing in, breathing out. It's amazing what that simple action can do. Many people who are new to meditation are led to believe that a meditation is all about emptying the mind, all about being perfectly still, all about having some kind of serenity take over. And while that may be true for advanced practitioners, getting to that point is a lot of effort. It's a lot of noise. It's a lot of fidgeting. And so, one of the things that I practice, one of the instruments of peace that I like to share is something called invite it to be perfect. So, if you're feeling fidgety, invite it to be perfect. That's your meditation today. That's you meeting you where you are. That's you not having to hammer yourself into some version you think you need to be. Just be. If your mind is perseverating on a thought or an interaction, you're obsessing about it a little bit, maybe you're holding a craving. And as challenging as it may sound, invite that to be perfect. That's you in this moment, in this practice. You don't need to be anything other than who you are. And breathe. This is a practice of allowance, allowing yourself to be exactly as you are and allowing that to have a degree of permission and by extension, perfection. For the month of September, friends, in the Spokane Sangha, we are exploring a theme, and it's a bit unusual. It is 4 qualities of habit energy from a psychological perspective. There are many qualities associated with habit energy, a phrase that we use in this community to mean addiction. Addiction has many faces. It manifests as the use and misuse of substances. It can be a negative relationship to food. It can be a topsy-turvy relationship to intimacy. It can be a stringent relationship to one's own opinions and thoughts. So many faces to habit energy, and therefore it is so very human. The quality that we're exploring this week is one's comfort with keeping secrets and lying. Now, this is a heavy topic, and so we don't enter this reflection lightly. And in fact, we're not going to enter it very deeply either. We're just going to have a peek. We're just going to fearlessly invite this quality to come into our consciousness, to be able to say, yeah, you know what? I have kept secrets. I have lied. I have the capacity to do that. And rather than treat it as this whole defining truth of oneself, or even as myself, I'll speak in the first person. Excuse me. I have the capacity to keep secrets. I have the capacity to lie. That is true. And it is not the whole truth. I also have the capacity of being highly transparent, open. And I have a deep devotion to being honest and cultivating trust. Both are true, and together they make the truth of me. Along with exploring this theme, we're going to practice mindfulness. I have created 4 different mindfulness practices to help support this exploration. The one we're going to explore today is called mirroring. And I think everyone has heard about mirror neurons, where we do mirror one another. We're energetic beings. And so when we're in the presence of someone who is calm, just being in their presence, there's some mirroring going on that helps us to calm down. Likewise, when we're around someone who's chaotic, we can manifest that agitation and hostility in our own minds and bodies. So mirroring and really exploring what that means for us can be a powerful tool of present time awareness. What we can do to explore this is think of a couple of scenarios. You may want to entertain a time where you were confronted by someone who wanted to expose a lie that you have been harboring. And one of the ways to infuse that reflection with some neutrality is to begin to explore the conditions. Why did I lie? What was I protecting in my lie? When somebody confronted me and said, "Hey, have you done this?" What was it about that interaction that stirred up for me a strong spirit of defense, a lack of trust? Was it that I felt like I was being accused? Did it feel like there was no invitation to have a conversation? It was simply an accusation and an indictment? Did I see judgment on their face? And by looking at their face, did that stir up judgment that I have for myself? Did I look in the mirror of them and see disgust and disapproval? And were those tapping into the feelings that I hold already so strongly for myself? Mirroring is an inquiry practice. It's all about getting curious. Why did I react that way? Rather than judging myself for having reacted that way. It's also not about making excuses. Well, I reacted that way because their face was so bitchy looking, I just didn't want to deal with it. Okay, that may be true. And it's not going to get us very far because there's more truth to be explored. You may want to explore a situation where somebody paid you a compliment and you lied to yourself and deflected the compliment because that lying part of yourself didn't want to accept it, couldn't accept it. The lie you've been harboring are all the ways you're worthless, lowly, undeserving, and so on. And so even when praise comes, we respond to that with rejection, defensiveness. Nah, not me. If you really knew me, you'd know that I was not a very good person. And again, that usually comes from a place that's true. We think of ourselves as not very good because we associate the whole of our being with unskillful actions. And some of our actions aren't good. That is true. And it can be true. But it is not the truth. It is never truly in an absolute form, never the truth. The truth is so much more. I have behaved in my life in so many unskillful ways. Absolutely true. I have said things I regret in moments where my mind was tight and confused, and I can't take those words back, and they caused harm. and they made me feel bad about myself. And they rise up again and again and again. And as much as I have the capacity for that, I cannot forget that I also have been incredibly skillful in my life. I have created the most beautiful boundaries. And some of my boundaries have been so solid and clear that they have helped prevent other people from causing harm. The two together make the whole of me. So when somebody is paying you a compliment, offering you praise and encouragement, they're holding up a mirror. Don't be afraid to see yourself as they see you. It may be uncomfortable, that's true. But the truth is, beauty, kindness, care, thoughtfulness, wisdom, creativity, these are qualities in everyone. Sometimes we experience it in ourselves by seeing it in others. To keep secrets, to lie, is a maladaptive coping strategy of self-protection. And it's only maladaptive when it is over applied. Most people who react in this way do so because they don't feel safe. They're responding to something, a situation or a person that is contributing to conditions that are indeed not safe, not okay, uncertain. But when that particular survival strategy becomes over applied and becomes a way of life, then we really limit our connection to each other and to ourselves. So, learning to share is a practice, and sharing versus confessing are two very different things. Likewise, learning to be honest, learning to own the lie through omission, through exaggeration, through storytelling, whatever it is that we do. Learning to be honest takes time and practice, and we do better when we engage with people, mirrors, who can reflect back for us security, encouragement, and reminders that we are staying true to our aspirations. We are staying aligned in our integrity by encountering them. This is what it means to have a Kalyana Mitra, a wise friend. If you have one, you're lucky. Cherish your Kalyana Mitra with reverence and devotion. If you don't have one, then you can begin by becoming one. In doing so, you will find more than likely just how many Kalyana Mitras are already in your life. Breathe, friends. Breathe in the awareness of this, the quality to keep secrets and to lie. Breathe in the qualities to be transparent and honest. Breathe in the capacity to mirror kindness and scorn. Breathe in your aspirations to be whole and to be true. Oh. So I'm going to invite the chime to sing, and I'm going to ask that you return your body to a posture to receive this dedication of merit. For ourselves, we have taken in this impeccable exploration and truly this courageous exploration of looking at the conditions that stir up the habit energy to lie, to self protect, to keep things secret, and maybe to even blur the lines between what is secret and what is private. It is a very human kind of engagement that we are looking at as a way of applying wisdom and curiosity, qualities that enable us to mature and to become authentic and whole, qualities that enable us to be fearless and courageous. And so this is a deeply, deeply personal exploration, but I tell you, the merit of it is profound because all we have to do is take note of the news, the recent news, to know that we are a nation in crisis. We are a people in crisis. Our expressions of humanity are confused. Our willingness to tolerate free speech has become confused. The violence, the entitlement, it's all there, the controlling of narratives and so on. And so if we can, each of us, learn to become courageous even in our own lives, the positive effects, the merit that this has within our own friend groups and our families and our communities. That's how we begin to keep the embers of peace lit, to keep the clarifying nature of kindness aglow, to keep the resilience needed for love alive. We dedicate this practice far and wide in the spirit of peace, of care, of great compassion beside enormous moral outrage. Thank you for your glorious practice today, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.